So hello and welcome back to another FranSimsca speed build. In today's video we're actually doing a challenge. We're doing the Pride Shell Challenge from English Simmer. I just watched one of their videos and it was actually like perfect timing because I've been wanting to do something Pride related for Pride Month, for LGBTQ month. And I hadn't really like come up with an idea, like a concrete idea yet. I was kind of thinking that I was going to do like a rainbow house, which I do the opposite here, but in a good way. um, but yeah, I was watching the English Simmer. She did this live stream where she made this shell, and she's doing a challenge where people turn it into something LGBTQ related. I really like the way that she had worded it in her video. She said something along the lines of like, turn it into like a safe space for LGBTQ people. And she had suggested like a bar, or not suggested, but she was like, you could do like a gay bar, you could do this, you could do that. So it really made me think long and hard about what I wanted to do. I kind of obviously completely strayed away from the idea of like doing like a rainbow house, like a super colorful house. I'm actually watching Pose for the first time. If you haven't watched Pose on Netflix, highly recommend it. It's an amazing show. I had just finished season 1 like a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow, I wonder when season 2 is going to be available. And lucky for me, very strange timing, they just put season 2 of Pose on Netflix, like I think last week. I'm almost done. Normally I would have binged, but work's been a little crazy, so I have been just watching like during lunch, and I think I'm like on episode, I want to say 6. It's really, really good, but I use that as my basis of inspiration for this. English Summer, she was like very like, you could do this, 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 and I was like, I think it would be great to do something ballroom related. If you don't know what that is, I'm sure Google could explain it probably better than me, but it's essentially like this ballroom culture is basically started by trans women in, I want to say like the 80s, maybe earlier, where they it's the idea of like houses and creating your own family, like a safe space it was like the original safe space really for trans women, where they can, go with their, sisters and their brothers and the family that they've created, their children, and have a safe space to, kind of like be themselves. I think it's explained really well in like the first episode, honestly. It's like a place to celebrate who you are in a world where like you can't. So it's really beautiful. So I really used Pose and ballroom culture as my basis of inspiration for this build. I did it as a nightclub. That's what it's categorized in Sims. But yeah, it could be a bar. Honestly, I think the requirements are a little bit different for a bar than a nightclub, but you really could, have it as whatever, because I mean, all the equipment that you need for your Sims are like right there. We got 2 bars, got this big dance floor, a DJ booth, some bathrooms that I'm working on right now, because, who's not going to need some bathrooms after drinking and hanging and all that stuff. But I'm really excited about the way that this build turned out. You'll see in the screenshots, I should probably link actually, the person whose house or household I downloaded, but I downloaded like a Pride household where somebody was brilliant enough to create like a person that represents a trans person, a person that represents a lesbian, a person that represents a gay person, a person that represents someone that's non-binary, so on and so forth. Like 8 people, large household, of just, it's called like the Pride household, and I'll say, I forget, actually I don't even think I looked at who created this household of Sims, but I moved them into like a random lot so I could have them visit here, so I could take really cool screenshots, and you'll see in the screenshots like it looks fun. Like, I'm new with the get together pack, and I'm really loving it so far. The build objects are freaking awesome, but also like the idea of having like a dance floor and like this DJ and like the Sims really look like they're having fun, like really like low key, like they look like they're like raging. I've never like seen so many Sims in a community lot at once, honestly. It's not like it's so different than just like it's a bar or it's a lounge or whatever. Like they're partying. It's really funny. So yeah, this is me kind of just trying to get the requirements in for the nightclub. Like I said, you could really, switch it to whatever you want. I don't know if there's really like much of a difference. If it makes much of a difference during gameplay, I mean, you're just gonna go somewhere and do something regardless, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, back to the build. So you'll notice on the top floor I have like this cutout area and you can see the dance floor from the top floor. That is exactly how the building is in Pose, which I really liked. And I feel like I just did this in the spa build that I just did. And I've definitely did it in like house builds before. I don't know if there are house builds on my channel that I've done it on before, but this idea of like the second floor overlooking the first floor, which I really like, but I thought it made complete sense for this type of build where it's like, you don't want, if you're getting a drink upstairs or going out for like a smoke or to hang or whatever, like on the two balcony areas, like you don't want to like completely be disassociated from like what's going on downstairs, like all the fun that's happening. So I really do like the idea of like having this little balcony area that overlooks everything. But yeah, it's really funny, like again looking at it, like this is so not, other than the two pride flags that I have up, I have like the LGBTQ one and like this trans specific pride flag. Like it's really not that pride-y, but it is like when you think about it, like if you think about it and if you watch Pose or know anything about bowl culture or maybe you watch Drag Race, like whatever, um, this is like the epitome of like a safe space for LGBTQ people, which is really cool. So for those of you that maybe don't watch Pose and don't know what that is, or not what that is because I already kind of explained it, but off to the side you'll see I have like this whole area set up on the far right. That's, we're not showing right now, but on the far right there's like the table and chairs and like the mic. In Pose, Billy Porter is like the MC, he's on the mic, and they have like a panel of judges that are judging the houses that are walking, and they're usually like theme nights where it's like eleganza extravaganza, where it's like your most beautiful gown, whatever. So I do have that whole section, little like setup, which is like really really cool. I like that a lot. Obviously, like the DJ booth and the dance floor is like where your Sims are going to be, but it was kind of fun like mimicking what it would be like in the show and taking screenshots. I had a really good time with that. Um, for the outside, again, I was really struggling with, it being a community lot, not totally knowing how to landscape out here. And again, I don't do very much. I think it looks more realistic, like if you don't have like grass and trees and whatever. Also, I think that this build could fit on a much smaller lot, so I didn't want to crowd it up, because if you are going to download this, you could put it on a smaller lot and you wouldn't have to worry about like trees in the background or whatever going away. So I made like the conscious decision at the end not to add a bunch of trees and stuff in the background. I do add like all of this concrete. I did have an issue with some of this, because I don't know actually what the issue is. It's like the house is raised one up, and it was just like having the concrete was like, or maybe having the fountain was like messing it up and making it really weird, where like the concrete was like a level above like where it should be, which I've actually never seen that happen. It's probably a glitch, but in order to avoid it entirely, I pretty much just moved some stuff around and avoided it completely. Other than the concrete and the fountain, I added the lights on the exterior. I thought those looked cool, and then I added a couple of lampposts and really just kept it simple outside. The inside's really where it's at, and you'll see in the screenshots how proud I am of this build. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.